Once you've memorized the first quadrant, it's very easy to know the rest of the unit.
So the first thing we're going to start is the unit circle. You take your left hand, you put it on your piece of paper just like I'm doing. You're going to trace out loosely with your fingers. Once you've done that, you're going to draw an X and Y axis, your thumb being the Y axis and your, is it called a pinky? I think being your X axis, just like that. Alright, and for what you need to remember is X is always cosine, so I always write at the bottom just so I can remember, and Y is always sine. It's going to help you when you're trying to figure out the values. So we're going to start, I actually miswrote this, it's supposed to be the square root over 2. So you can correct that, or I'll correct it in a little bit. So it goes from 0, then it goes 30 degrees, then after 30 degrees it goes 45 degrees, then it goes 60 degrees, then it goes 90 degrees. These are known as the special angles. So 0, 30, 45, 60, 90. Those are your fingers. Okay. Pi, as you know, is in radians, and pi radians is equal to 180 degrees. Okay, so that means you can turn all these degrees into radians. So 90 is half of 180, so that's going to be pi over 2. Alright, to find out what 60 is, I can just set up a similar ratio, and if I know pi is equal to 180, I'm wondering what 60 degrees is. So I'm just going to write it right underneath each other. Pi is equal to 180 and then 60 is equal to x. Well, we could just go ahead and cross multiply and divide. So we're going to always get x equals 60 over 180 times pi. Go ahead and simplify. So once you simplify that, you're going to get pi over 3. So 60 degrees is pi over 3. You're supposed to memorize this, but I'm teaching you how to calculate it just in case. So you can figure out the same thing for 45. You can follow the same ratio. So go ahead and simplify that. And you're going to get pi over 4 once you're done simplifying. I'm going to do the same thing for 30. So 30 pi over 180. Go ahead and simplify that. That's going to simplify to pi over 6. And then 0 is 0 radians. Okay. So now that you've had this, you're going to use your left hand to determine what the value is. So if you want pi of 30, you fold that finger, and then count. How many do you have on the left side? 3. How many you have on your right? 1. And all you're going to do, and so let's do the left side first. It's 3. So you're going to put 3 on the top, and then so it's going to be radical 3 over 2. And then on your right hand side you have 1, so it's going to be radical 1, which is what? 1 over 2, so 1/2. So all you're going to do is put it in this little thing, radical over 2. And that's how you do it. So you fold 45, you got 2, so you got radical 2 over 2. Fold it, and on your right hand side you've got 2 again, so radical 2 over 2. Right, then we're going to do 60. You got 1, so you got radical 1 is 1 over 2, and then radical 3 over 2. Right, for 0, you've got 4, so radical 4 is 2, so 2 over 2 is 1, and then you've got nothing on the right hand side of it, so 0. For 90, you've got nothing on the left, so 0, and on the right you've got 4, so radical 4 is 2 over 2 is 1. Okay, so that's how you use your left hand side to determine this. Once you have your left hand side, we're going to make the entire unit circle. Alright, now the top right of your unit circle is your left hand. So all I'm going to do is just copy the values in there. So again, the first quadrant is your left hand. So once you have your left hand done, you pop it into the unit circle. And we'll go over like how you can remember this without having to work it out, but I want to show you how to work it out so that you know how to do it. So I'm just going to practice. So again, 3 radical 3 over 2, and then it's 1 on that side, so radical 1 is 1 over 2, and just practice as much as you can. 45, 0 is radical 4, which is 2 over 2, which is 1, then 0. 45 degrees is our finger, radical 2 over 2 on both sides. 60 degrees is 1 on the left, so radical 1, which is 1, so 1 over 2, so 1/2. On the right is 3, so radical 3 over 2. And then 90 degrees is nothing on the left, so 0. And then on the right, radical 4, which is 2 over 2 is 1. Alright, so that's your left hand. So once you have your left hand, you can use this to do the rest of the unit circle. So I want to take some colors just so I can show you what it actually looks like without you getting confused. If I take the orange color and just extend the line, that's pretty much going to be the same as the one in the first quadrant. And if I extend the line again on the second quadrant, that same line, all those lines are going to have the same values. It's just the negatives and positives are going to change. Alright, so I'm going to do this for all of them. So I'm going to rewrite them radical 3 over 2, 1/2. All my oranges are radical 3 over 2 and 1/2, and then we'll talk about the signs in a second. Alright, let me do another line. So I'm going to take a different color and do that line, so extend it. So that one's going to have the same value, and then reflect it on the other side, so it's right after the orange one. And then extend it all the way down. Those are going to have all the same values. So just copy it down. So radical 2 over 2, radical 2 over 2. Alright, take another color. Extend it all the way down. Reflect it over the y-axis. We'll just count up how many lines are producing. And that's all going to have the same value, so go ahead and fill it all in. Alright, finally the x-axis and the y-axis. So let's make the y-axis one color, then pick a different color for the x-axis. Pick a different color for the x-axis. So those lines are the same. So that one is also 0, 1, that one's also 1, 0. Alright, now once you have this, it's just a matter of fixing your signs. So in the first quadrant, both x and y is positive. So positive is both x and y values. In the second quadrant, you see you're going to have positive y's and negative x's. Positive y's and negative x's. So go and turn in all my x values, which are the first ones, make them negatives, and leave my y's positive. In the third quadrant, we've got negative x's, negative y's. So put negatives on everything. And in the fourth quadrant, we've got positive x and negative y. So put negatives on y only. And also, oh, it looks like I forgot to do my negative x values and my negatives, so put those in. Alright, so that's pretty much all the values. Now let's look at the degrees and the radians for each one. The difference between 90 and 60 is 30, so we're going to add 30 because that's the same distance, so 90 plus 30. That difference is 15, so add 15 to what we already have. It's going to give you 135. Then that difference again is 15, so add 15. And you can see the lines are exactly the same. Remember the reflections. And then that distance is 30, so this needs to be 30, 180. That makes sense because the straight line is 180. Alright, then again you do the exact same thing. That distance is what? 30 from the red line to the orange, so add 30. Then these ones are 15, and then those big ones are 13, and so forth. So you're adding 15, add another 15 to 225, add a 30 because that's the bigger one. Add another 30 because that's the bigger one, so 300. Add 15, small, add 15, and add 30. So it should bring you back to 360, which makes sense. Now, I've shown you how to calculate the radians once you have the degrees. Again, I'm going to do it the long way, and then I will come back and show you a shortcut. Okay, for the radians you're finding, which is x, is equal to your angle over 180 times pi. And then all you have to do is simplify it. So simplify that and you should get 2 pi over 3. Now when you do the next one, 135, 180 times pi, simplify that and you should get 3 pi over 4. Do 150, simplify that and you should get 5 pi over 6. And you can really keep going all the way around, but I'm going to go ahead and show you the shortcut, although I will have worked them all out. Okay, so the bottom goes 3, and all of those 3s are also 3s. 4, all of those are 4, and then 6, all of those are 6. and then find the reflections on the same line. So 6 goes with that line, 6. 4 goes with that line, 4. 3 goes with that line, 3. And then across the ways, that's 6, 4, and 3. And then they'll have pi on top, so everything has pi. And then the way I remember this is if it's on the second quadrant, okay, it's right there, you're going to subtract 1 from the denominator and it's going to be the top value. If it's on the third quadrant, you're going to add 1. So 3 minus 1 is 2, so it's 2 pi over 3. 4 minus 1 is 3. 6 minus 1 is 5. And then this one you're going to add 1. So 6 plus 1 is 7. 4 plus 1 is 5. And then 3 plus 1 is 4. Then on this one, I remember I go to the store, so I go and get $5 gas at 7-Eleven. I get $5 of gas at 7-Eleven. And that's pretty much all there is to it. So it's a shortcut of remembering all of this. So this is what your unit circle looks like.